Venerable Zosimas of Solovki. April 17th. Born to pious parents, Zosimas renounces his inheritance to seek monastic solitude, ultimately founding the renowned Solovetsky Monastery in the desolate White Sea. A heads up in the spirit of transparency. Please be advised that this content may include persecution. Venerable Zosimas of Solovki, abbot and wonderworker, stands as a foundational figure in Russian monasticism. His life, marked by rigorous ascetic labor and unwavering trust in divine providence, laid the groundwork for the renowned Solovetsky Monastery in the desolate expanse of the White Sea. The Church commemorates his blessed repose on April 17th and the translation of his holy relics on August 8th, alongside Saint Sabatius, his spiritual predecessor on the island. Zosimas was born in the 15th century in the village of Tolvua, situated within the Novgorod diocese. His parents, Gabriel and Barbara, were known for their piety and diligently instilled in their son a profound love for God. From his earliest years, Zosimas demonstrated a clear inclination towards spiritual matters. He devoted his time to prayer and the diligent reading of Holy Scripture, consciously turning away from the fleeting pursuits of the world. Following the repose of his parents, Zosimas distributed his entire inheritance to the poor, embracing voluntary poverty as a cornerstone of his spiritual path. He then set out to find a spiritual guide, seeking direction for a life dedicated to monastic solitude. This act of renunciation marked the beginning of his journey towards God, a witness to his desire to live without attachment to earthly possessions. In his quest for an ascetic dwelling, Zosimas encountered Herman, a venerable monk who had previously lived on the remote Solovetsky island. Herman shared accounts of the island's isolation and its suitability for a secluded monastic life, a place where one could engage in unceasing prayer and labor undisturbed by worldly distractions. Inspired by these words, Zosimas and Herman embarked on their journey in 1436. They braved the harsh northern sea, a testament to their resolve, and established themselves on the island. There, they constructed a small wooden cell, a humble shelter against the elements, and committed themselves fully to prayer and manual labor. The island's severe climate and rugged terrain presented constant challenges, requiring profound endurance and reliance on divine aid for survival. Their daily life was a continuous act of asceticism, embodying the Desert Father's tradition in the northern wilderness. One evening, as Zosimas chanted the Psalter, he was granted a divine vision. A church, magnificent in its appearance, manifested suspended in the air to the east of their humble cell. This heavenly sign clearly indicated the precise location where a great monastery was destined to be founded. As word of Zosimas's profound piety and ascetic struggles spread, disciples began to gather around him and Herman, attracted by their spiritual witness. A community, united by a common desire for salvation, began to form. Together, they erected a wooden church, dedicated to the transfiguration of the Lord, and a trapeza for communal meals. Recognizing Zosimas's spiritual discernment and leadership, the growing brotherhood unanimously chose him as their igumen. Zosimas then undertook the journey to Novgorod, where Archbishop Jonah, acknowledging his spiritual authority, ordained him a priest and officially appointed him abbot of the nascent Solovetsky community. This formal recognition provided the canonical foundation for the monastery's future growth. As abbot, Zos guided the monastery with wisdom and spiritual strength, establishing a strict coenobitic rule of life for the brethren, emphasizing communal prayer, obedience, and shared labor. The community faced numerous hardships inherent to life in such a remote and unforgiving environment. During a severe famine, when their grain supplies were depleted, the monastery experienced a miraculous provision. Their stores, through divine intervention, did not diminish, sustaining the monks during a time of great need. The monks also endured significant opposition from the servants of Martha Boretskaya, the powerful Novgorod governor, who sought to expel them from the island, challenging their right to inhabit the land. Saint Zosimas, demonstrating courage and conviction, traveled to Novgorod to plead the monastery's case. Before the authorities, he spoke with prophetic insight, foretelling the downfall of those who unjustly opposed the monastic dwelling. His words were fulfilled, and the monastery's rights to the island were ultimately secured, a clear sign of God's protection. Zosimus was also known for his gift of clairvoyance, through which he could discern the spiritual condition of his monks, offering precise guidance and counsel. He taught them humility, patience, and unwavering endurance in their ascetic struggle, fostering a spirit of true monasticism. Under his vigilant leadership, the Solovetsky Monastery developed into a prominent spiritual center, radiating Orthodox faith throughout the Russian north. Before his departure from this earthly life, Saint Zosimus appointed his faithful disciple Arsenius as his successor, entrusting him with the spiritual care of the brethren and the continuation of the monastic life. He received the holy mysteries, a final participation in the body and blood of Christ, imparted his last blessing to the monks, and peacefully reposed in the Lord on April 17, 1478. He was laid to rest in a tomb he had prepared for himself behind the altar of the Church of the Transfiguration. His repose marked the completion of his earthly witness. Years later, in 1566, during the construction of a new cathedral, the holy relics of Saints Zosimus and Sabatius were uncovered. They were found to be incorrupt, a sign of their sanctity and God's favor. These precious relics were solemnly transferred to a chapel within the new church. This significant event, known as the translation of the relics, is commemorated on August 8th. A multitude of clergy and faithful gathered to witness the transfer, and many received healing at the saint's shrine, bearing witness to their continued intercession before God. Saint Zosimus, through his life of prayer, labor, and steadfastness, established a spiritual stronghold that continued to bear fruit for centuries, inspiring countless monastics and faithful to follow Christ. His legacy endures as a testament to the power of asceticism and faith in shaping spiritual communities.